What is up, you guys? My name is Elias and I love movies. Thank you guys very much for all of the awesome questions that I got. I actually ended up getting a lot more questions than I expected, and I think that is awesome. Really excited to answer every single one of them. I will try my very best to get through all of these very quickly so this video isn't extremely long. After this video, if you guys have any other questions, you guys can go ahead and leave them down below. And if I do get enough questions, who knows, I might end up doing more of these. But what do you say we don't waste any more time and get straight to these awesome questions? 1, 2, 3.
Guerra Movie House.
You guys, I got the questions right here. Let's go ahead and begin. First question is from 31 Film Talk, and he says, could you sing for us again? No, I can't. The second question is, what TV show would you like to see get a movie? I would love to see Sopranos get a movie, but now that James Gandolfini is no longer with us, that is most likely not ever going to happen. Maybe Dexter should get a movie, just because I think he should die. The third question from 31 Film Talk is, could God microwave a burrito so hot that he himself couldn't eat it? I would have to say that if God ever did make a burrito, it would most likely be the greatest, most delicious burrito ever. And if he were to microwave it extremely hot, that's only because he likes it that way, I guess. Next two questions come from a movie Cave Dave, and his first question is, what was the first Blu-ray that you ever bought? First Blu-ray that I ever got is The Fighter, and it is an amazing film. Mwah. And his second question is, do you still own it today? Yes, I do. Next question is from Rory, and he says, what is the one question you hate being asked? And truth be told, I hate being asked if I am Mexican. It's nothing against Mexicans, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna ask someone what they are, their ethnicity, then you ask, what is your ethnicity? Is there anything we should know about you that we don't already know? I think there is probably a lot that you guys don't know about me, but I don't know if there's anything that you need to know. But that's what this Q&A is for, and I already said that if I get more questions, I will do another one of these, because in these Q&As, I want to be able to answer any question that there is, no matter what it is. So whatever you want to know, just ask. What keys on your keyboard do you not use? Alright, let's see. I don't think I've ever used any of these, really. I know for a fact that I've never used these before. I never used page up or page down. I also never used these right here for the volume or for the lighting, the brightness. Where have you traveled in your life? I've said before that I was born in Los Angeles, California, and I moved around a little bit in California. At the age of 12 going on 13, I moved here to North Carolina. I've been to Florida, I've been to Maryland, I've been to Tennessee, and I've been to Ohio a lot. The last question from Rory is, what has been your biggest challenge? I would have to say being married at a very young age and starting my life at a very young age. There's nothing negative about it. I'm just saying that it's usually difficult for a lot of people to do, and it doesn't always work out for a lot of people. I'm proud to say that me and my wife are one of the few that actually makes it. She was 17 and I was 20 whenever we first got married. We've now been married for 8 years and have 3 beautiful children, and not a lot of people can say that start at our age. Does that make sense? Next few questions are from Unbox Everything, and he says, what 3 movies do you think deserve a sequel? I'm just gonna go with the most common answer. I would have to say Dredd. Who does not want to see a Dredd 2? And I don't think I've ever heard anybody else say this before, but I would love to see a sequel to I Love You Man. I can just imagine, like, Paul Rudd's character and his wife already having kids, and Jason Segel being like the drunk that gets high all the time, and then their friendship is really tested because they are complete opposites. We also need a Hellboy 3 and a Kick-Ass 3. In my opinion, those are films that I would absolutely love to get, and hopefully one day we do. What is the most expensive Blu-ray movie you've bought? That's actually really hard because I'm sure a lot of you guys already know that I don't buy new releases. I always wait for prices to go down unless it's a must-own movie for me, which is normally like a new release price, like 20 to 25 bucks. But the most expensive thing that I own is probably the Dark Knight Trilogy box set, which was like over 100 bucks when it first came out. But like I said, I always wait for prices to go down because I am an extremely cheap person. It was like a year and a half after it was first released, and I ended up buying it for 50 bucks. How many steelbooks do you own? Wow, now there's a question that will most likely disappoint many people. I don't own any steelbooks. I know. Everyone's clicking the unsubscribe button now. I think a lot of the artwork is really cool for most of the movies that I've seen, but there's just something about it that I don't understand. Like, what's its purpose, I guess? I know it's weird and I just made a lot of people extremely angry, but that's just my opinion, I guess. Winter or summer? Now there's an easy question. Winter, definitely, hands down. I cannot stand the heat. I don't like to sweat. I don't even like being outside. I don't like the sun. I don't like how it feels on my skin. There's just something about it that I absolutely hate. I also love being inside a lot, so during the winter, especially here in North Carolina, it gets really cold, which gives me a reason to stay inside all the time, which is what I love. Next we have Dr. Movie 91, and he says, is there a supervillain that you would love to see on the big screen? Who and why? I would love to see a movie about the devil himself. I know we've gotten a lot of religious movies before, like Al Pacino's The Devil's Advocate, where he plays the devil in human form, but I'm talking about the fallen angel himself and how he became to be. I just think it would make an awesome supernatural movie, of course, if it was done well. The second question is, do you have any movie related tattoos? The first one that I have is this film reel. Of course, that pretty much speaks for itself. The other one that I have is this quote that says, it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me, which any Batman fan would know is a quote from Batman Begins. And the third one that I have is this one that says Que sera sera, which is Spanish or Italian, whichever way you want to look at it, which is a song from the movie The Man Who Knew Too Much by Alfred Hitchcock. I do love the movie, like I love every Hitchcock film, but it's not my favorite. But there's something about that scene and about that song that has always stuck with me since the first time I saw it. I fell in love with it and will forever be in love with it. His third question is, if you could meet a famous actor, who would it be? I would probably want to meet one of my favorites. I would love to meet Joaquin Phoenix and pick his brain and just hang out with him for a day. And of course, Scarlett Johansson. She's not my favorite actress, but I would love to meet her. And his fourth question is, what do your kids think of your movie collection? I'm not really sure, but what do you say we go and ask them? Rachel.
Yes?
What do you think of Daddy's movie room or his collection?
His collection looks really good and I love his movie room, just how it is.
Good answer. High five. Noah, what do you think of my movie room?
It's good because I love all your movies.
You haven't seen all of my movies.
Well, I only love the movies that I've seen.
Ah.
And your collection is really great because I just like how they just stand still like something.
Sam, what do you think of the movie room?
Bueno.
You don't know? Say super cool.
Super cool.
Say super awesome.
Super awesome. Super.
Get your finger out of your mouth. Next question is from Brett the Movie Guy, and he says, favorite classic actor and actress? I would definitely have to say James Cagney, just because he made some of the greatest gangster films of all time. I mean, seriously, does that not look like a guy that you do not want to mess with? He was like Joe Pesci of his generation. I would also have to say James Stewart, but that's only because I'm a big Hitchcock fan and he did a lot of Hitchcock films and he was amazing in every single one of them. For actresses, I would definitely have to say Julie Andrews. I mean, every time I see her on screen, like, the child inside of me comes out and I fall in love with her all over again. And of course, another popular answer, I would have to say Audrey Hepburn. Not only was she extremely talented, bringing many characters to life, but she was like the cutest thing ever. And what made her even more attractive was that she was so adorable and beautiful that her stone cold face made her more attractive. If that doesn't make sense to some of you, I am really sorry, but it makes sense to me. Empty Theater says, if you were writing a political drama, which real life and modern issue that you truly support would you write it about, and how would you make it entertaining? That's probably the most difficult question I will ever get in my life. If House of Cards wasn't created, I would definitely create House of Cards. And I'm also a big fan of gangster films or gangster related things, so I would probably combine those two things. But of course, that was already made with Boardwalk Empire. What is the worst experience you had debated a movie in real life? Not the internet. I've never really had one because people don't really hurt my feelings whenever we disagree. I enjoy arguing. I think it's fun. I think it's awesome. I don't know, arguing about movies is just extremely fun for me. What are your thoughts on fake documentaries? I think they are awesome. I think they're extremely entertaining, especially when you know it's not real, but you know in the back of your mind that a lot of really slow people are going to think that it's real. Just something about that idea that I've always loved. And the other half of that question is movies that are clearly made for one group. Michael Moore documentaries and films like God Is Not Dead. I don't always agree with Michael Moore, but I do have to admit that the guy knows how to make a really good documentary. They're so good that if you disagree with him at first, there is a small possibility that he will change your mind by the time you're done with that documentary. And if he doesn't change your mind, he's just gonna piss you off even more. Movies like God Is Not Dead, I am not a big fan of. I don't normally like Christian movies. I don't really have anything against them. I just think they're poorly made. I think that if you have the right writers and the right filmmakers and the right actors, if all of the correct people are involved in a movie, it doesn't really matter what it's about, it might turn out pretty good. And Christian movies don't normally have the backup that they need to make a good movie. Have you watched NBC's Hannibal yet? No, I have not. I have heard a lot of great things about it, but that's only from you, Nate, because I don't think anybody talks about it. Is anybody even watching that show? What is your favorite teen sex comedy movie? Now there's something I don't even have to think about. Superbad, definitely, hands down, no questions asked. Not only does it involve some sex humor, but it is my favorite comedy of all time. Next question comes from Robert James, and he says, what actors do you have a man crush on? Again, don't even have to think about it. Ryan Gosling, of course, no shame, no secret. He's my #1 man crush. Next we have Jackson99, and his first question is, your #1 James Bond film. You have to choose one. I guess this is the part where I admit that I'm not really a big James Bond fan. Like, I've seen the last 3 James Bond films, and I saw all of the ones with Pierce Brosnan. I guess I would have to say GoldenEye? Is that the one with the chick that holds his ribs and almost crushes him? I can feel the disappointment coming from a lot of people right now. Do you think I should change anything on my channel to make 500? Any tips? Truth is, man, a lot of people know who you are. A lot of people talk about your channel all the time and they really enjoy your content. I guess just keep doing what you're doing, man. If people like your personality and they like your content, then they're gonna keep watching no matter what video you're doing. Just do whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, it's your channel, they're your videos, and whoever wants to watch will watch. What would you actually do if they remade Jaws? Now there's something I don't want to think about. I'm not normally a fan of remakes because, let's be honest here, usually they don't work out that great. There are certain movies that people just shouldn't touch. There are certain films that should be left alone forever, and Jaws is definitely one of them. A to Z Review says, if you could direct one film, original idea or franchise, what would it be and what approach would you take on it? If I were to ever make a movie, it would be a drama, and it would most likely be a crime drama. There's just something about slow-paced films that I love, like the less you know about the character, the better. So if I were to ever make a movie, I think it would be something like that. Big Out 1982 says, Hitchcock or Kubrick? Easy. I love them both, but Hitchcock is definitely the winner there. Pacino or De Niro? Again, I love them both, but I would have to say Robert De Niro. Home viewing or cinema viewing? I love going to the movies, but I don't like to go out a lot. I love being at home, so I guess home viewing. 3 places in the world you would like to visit. The 3 places that I would like to visit are pretty much all right next to each other. I want to go to France, Italy, and Spain. Those are 3 places that I've always wanted to go to. 5 celebrities, alive or dead, you would have a dinner evening to answer all your questions. Okay, let's see. Alfred Hitchcock, of course, would have to be there. Quentin Tarantino would have to be there. John Lennon would have to be there. Let's see, 2 more. Seth Rogen, definitely. I can picture Alfred Hitchcock and Seth Rogen like getting high together. This is hard because I want my 5 people to be awesome. I need a girl there. Scarlett Johansson, definitely. But she would sit on my side of the table and all the other guys would probably sit on the other side. Spider Geek says, what in your mind is the best Blu-ray release you've seen or owned, whether it's for transfer, packaging, or special features? I know it's like really cheap right now. I think you can get it for like somewhere between $5 to $10, but it is my favorite musical of all time and I love this box set. At West Side Story, this lip comes off and I love how this opens right here and it just comes with so much great stuff that any fan of this movie will absolutely love. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. Another one of my favorites is the Dexter Complete Series box set, and the reason I love this is because this wooden blood slide box set is a big part of the whole entire show, and I love the packaging because it looks just like his box, and each disc looks like a blood slide from the show because it does have a blood splatter on it, which I think is completely awesome. And the next question is from Evan at the Disco, and he says, have you ever considered actually making a film or a short film of your own? Coincidentally, the answer is yes, because I actually just finished writing a script or a storyboard, I guess you can say. All I really need is the time. I promise as soon as I'm done with it, I will let everyone know and I will upload it right here for everyone to watch. Jordan Miller says, what inspired you to start making YouTube videos? Wanting to talk about movies. The ones that inspired me the most were Flick Pick and Kakalaki Movies because they were so laid back and they just did whatever they wanted to do and people loved that. Hams Gaming says, who is your favorite comedy director and why? A lot of you guys already know that I'm not a big comedy fan. Like, I enjoy them, but it's not at all like my favorite genre. But I do love Seth Rogen. Like, he has yet to piss me off in a film. I so far love everything that he's done. So I guess now that he's directing, as of this moment, I would say him, Seth Rogen. Second question from Tams Gaming is, have you ever considered making a short film? And coincidentally, I already answered that. I have, and it's done. Well, the writing process is done, I just have to shoot it. What are your top 3 to 5 favorite psychological thrillers? Memento is definitely the first one that comes to mind. Probably my favorite, if not for sure, like top 3. Of course, the popular answer would be Inception. I don't know, there's so many to choose from and I can't even think of any right now. The Bone Collector, does that count? It's actually a really hard question and might deserve a separate video. Who knows, we'll see. Next few questions are from Nick Darden and he says, what's your favorite Nirvana song / album? Whoever said I was a Nirvana fan? By the way, this is a pixelated portrait of Kurt Cobain that I did many years ago. If I had to choose one, I know the popular answer is Nevermind, but I personally would have to go with In Utero. It is an amazing album. Every single track is completely different from anything that they had done previously. It just had a different sound that felt more alive, in my opinion. What are some movies that you consider a masterpiece? I've said it before and I'll say it again, most likely till the day I die. In my opinion, Only God Forgives is an amazing film. A film that is extremely rewatchable for me. I can watch it as many times as possible, which I normally do. I consider that movie a masterpiece. Other movies that I consider masterpieces are like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I know a lot of people don't like that film, but I am obsessed with it. It took me to a whole entire different place. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this, but No Country for Old Men, in my opinion, is an amazing, amazing film like no other that I strongly consider a masterpiece. And truth is, there are probably other films, but I would have to like take a moment and think about it. Very hard, because we all know the M word is a very powerful word. What are some movies you wish you had on Blu-ray that you don't own? First movies that come to mind are the Vengeance trilogy. I love that box set. I love all three movies for separate reasons, of course, and of course Oldboy is like the best one out of the three. There's just something about that trilogy that I absolutely love, and I would love to have those three on Blu-ray. J. David has 3 questions, and his first one is, what are your top 5 favorite movies of all time? They're not really in any order except for number 1, which is Pulp Fiction. The other 4 would have to be Goodfellas, No Country for Old Men, The Talented Mr. Ripley, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. All 5 amazing, amazing films. Does your wallet hurt when you buy a lot of movies? It doesn't hurt that much because I don't buy a lot of stuff, and most of what I buy from pawn shop, flea markets, or I usually wait for the prices to go down. And his third question is, how old are you? I am 28 years old. I actually just turned 28 in March. Henrik Kovalenko says Netflix or Hulu. Simple. I have them both. I love them both, but Netflix is definitely the one I prefer the most. Their movie collection is just a lot better than Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus has great shows and you're allowed to keep up with what's going on, but I would have to say Netflix. Next question is from Big Block Blu-ray, and he says, knowing you like myself are a huge family man and you were raised in the church, do you drag your kids to church every Sunday? Yes, my dad is a pastor and has been preaching my whole entire life, and at one point I too myself actually preached. My wife does believe in God and so do I, and we both consider ourselves Christians. But I disagree with the idea of having to go to a certain place to practice your religion. I believe that Christianity and the belief and love for God is a one-on-one relationship, and I don't need anybody else to have that one-on-one relationship. I believe that any place could be considered a place of worship as long as the belief and the love for your religion or for God is there. I believe that a group of 2 or 3 people in someone's living room could be church. Me and my wife do teach our kids about God, and she wants to eventually go to church, and I told her that one day maybe I will, just not right now. How did you and your wife meet? Me and my wife met in high school. She was 15 and I was 18. Yes, I know. His third question is, if you could hang out with any actor for a day, who would it be? If I could hang out with any actor, it would probably be Seth Rogen. He's not my favorite actor, but if I were to hang out with Seth Rogen for a day, it would probably be the greatest day of my life. Seriously. I can only imagine all of the things that we would do, which I'm not gonna mention because some of those things might be illegal. Next we have the late reviews, and he says, what is the movie you think you've watched the most amount of times, and what is the movie you quote the most in real life situations? That's easy. Pulp Fiction and Goodfellas. You guys wouldn't believe how quotable those movies are in my every single day life. Next few questions are from Blu-ray Evan, and he says, what do you think of remakes? I think we can all agree that most of them are horrible, but once in a while we get that special gem that we didn't at first believe in, but after we watched it, we actually enjoyed it. But that rarely happens. Favorite actor and actress? Joaquin Phoenix, Christian Bale, definitely make that list. An actress, of course, Scarlett Johansson, because she is the love of my life. I also really love Natalie Portman. I think she gives a lot of fantastic performances. But my favorite out of all would have to be Kate Winslet. There's just something about her performances that always stand out and are unforgettable to me that I absolutely love. Kate Winslet has been my favorite actress for a very long time, and I sometimes wonder if her position will ever be taken. If you could choose one movie to keep for the rest of your life to watch one time, what would it be? It would probably be Pulp Fiction because I love that movie. It's my favorite movie. I watch it all the time. It never gets boring. It is enjoyable no matter how many times I watch it. And his fourth question is, what is your favorite TV show? Sopranos, hands down. Love the show, watch it once every single year, every season. I love everything about it. The characters, the stories, every episode individually is amazing. And if you haven't seen Sopranos, I highly recommend it. Next we have Durant Cinema, and he says, if you had one superpower, what would it be and why? And Coke or Pepsi? Let's see. First of all, I would have to say Pepsi, just because the can, in my opinion, looks a lot better. I don't know what it is about the blue looking a lot better than red. Even though red is actually my favorite color, there's just something about the can that isn't that appealing. It's a weird answer, I know. And if I could have any superpower, it would definitely be to turn Super Saiyan. I'm one of those people that believes that Goku could destroy Superman, so therefore I am Team Goku and would love to be a Super Saiyan god. Next question is from You Supreme, and he says, what are your next goals for your channel? And that's simple. Just keep making content that I enjoy and that hopefully other people enjoy. Next few questions are from Diego Bluehead, and his first one is, favorite movie with a twist ending? First one that comes to mind is Memento, The Sixth Sense, of course, but it's not as rewatchable as Memento. But still, the first time you watch The Sixth Sense, I mean, I'm sure everyone can agree that like your jaw just drops because you don't see any of it coming. It's actually a really good question and most likely deserves its own video. Maybe. Second question from Diego Bluehead is favorite Marvel character? That's easy. Wolverine, hands down. Love the guy. Question number 3 from Diego Bluehead is, who would play you and your wife in a film about your life? I'm not sure if this is a dumb question, but does the actor playing me have to be Hispanic like me? If it doesn't matter, I would have to say Giovanni Ribisi. How do you say his last name? Giovanni is for sure an underrated actor. He always gives it his all with every performance that he does. And the actress playing my wife would probably be Zooey Deschanel. Might work. They sort of have the same personality, I think. So yeah, I think Zooey Deschanel could play my wife and Giovanni Ribisi could play me. Now that I think about it, I think they would probably have really good chemistry together. I can really see it. I'm gonna start working on the script as soon as possible and send it to someone. But that is all, you guys. I think I got every single question. If I forgot yours, please forgive me. If you guys have other questions and you enjoyed this video, leave more questions down below. And if I do get enough questions, I will do another one of these and maybe it will become its own series. As always, thank you guys very much. Thank you for each and every question. I enjoyed making this video. Like the video if you like. If you have more questions, leave them down below. Subscribe if you would like these videos and you want to see more. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching Guerra Movie House. Like, comment, and subscribe for my videos. Peace out, homies.